Live around 5. Tonight's topic is all's well that ends well. What is that about? Well, in this day and age, especially, we're all experiencing the end of things. Maybe it's the end of a relationship, maybe it's the end of a job, maybe it's the end of a project or volunteering, but it's really important that we end things well, right? So, here are some easy and quick tips for ending things well. The first thing to do is to communicate. And this is a good place to kind of throw in that who, what, when, where, why matrix where it's like, I'm going to be leaving here in 2 weeks because I found another job with more opportunity. I've loved being here. Thank you so much, right? You don't want to just ghost anybody. You don't want to be ghosted, and you want to be able to articulate exactly what's happening. So, perfect communication is a big deal. Be respectful about past, present, and future. So, this is not the moment to say, and I've been meaning to talk to you about 10 years ago. You wore my blue sweater and I want, right? That's not what this is about. Be respectful and be the person that you would hope at your very best you can be when you're moving through this, especially if it's an emotional ending for you. Maybe it's a place you've worked for a long time. It's something that meant a lot to you. It's a marriage, it's a relationship with a friend, and it's all kind of wrapping up. Or maybe it's a business, an MLM that you're leaving to go to another. Especially if it's emotional, keep a bead on your own respectfulness and make sure that you're following the rules of the road that you would want to follow to be respected. When you end things well, you also complete any work that's due. You make sure you leave the path clear for the next person. You amicably divide up resources if it's a relationship, right? So, this isn't always easy, but it's really important because the reason we were involved in something to begin with is because it held value for us. Either we did a job for money, or we were in a relationship for love, or maybe friendship, or business for goals. And in each of those stages, we need to remember how we felt when we began and make sure we end well. The next thing is to remember the golden rule: treat everybody the way you would want to be treated. So, this isn't about lying and saying, oh, it was amazing. No problem. We're just getting a divorce. No problem. I just don't work there anymore. The truth is, something happened. And so there's an ending. And it's okay to say, I'm disappointed. I was looking forward to this, but it didn't work out. They're going in another direction. And that's great for them. I want them to find what works best for them, right? You can be honest if it's not a happy thing for you, but this is not the place to say, and I think it's because blah, 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 right? You don't want them saying that about you. You wouldn't say that about them. Just be the golden rule. And if you were in the room with the people that you are uncoupling from, that you're ending things with, would you say the same thing that you're saying now? So say respectfully, follow the golden rule. The other thing is to remember who you are. What are your ethics? What is your integrity? What are your values? What's important to you? And make sure that you're conducting yourself in that way. One of my friends gave me advice once that said, sometimes watching the end of something is a little bit like watching a train wreck. And all you want to do is yell, oh my God, everybody look out. This train is coming and it's awful. But it's not our place to do that. It's our place to just stand by, be available, be a sounding board, and not put our judgment. Our judgment is that there's a train coming. It's not necessarily everybody's experience. So it's important to remember your own values. Do you gossip? No? Then don't gossip here. Do you speak ill of others when they're not in your circle and you're not able to communicate with them directly? No, then don't do that here. Let things end well. And last but not least is to give yourself grace. The chances are, if it's something of real personal value and emotional to you, you're not going to be perfect in any of these areas. There will be times or moments where maybe you're not your best self. Give yourself grace and get right back up on that horse, right? Say, you know what? I really didn't need to say that, and I can do better. Give yourself permission to say, I really wanted to end this better. Let me move forward. Things ending are normal, right? You can learn from these experiences. If you end something and it's not done well, then say, well, what did I really do there that I could have done better? I recently stepped back from a volunteer position. I'm still going to be involved with the organization, but I'm no longer one of the key leaders because it's time. It's good for the organization and it's good for me. And so that's a really good example of there was no drama, there was nothing big to do about it, but I really wanted to be sure I end my role as president in that organization well. So I'm going to be standing by for the next year, providing documentation, helping in any way I can, and honoring the new leader, letting take their role, take the organization in the direction they see fit, and being a supporting player. That's a really good example of ending something well, right? I communicated with everybody. I was able to, they're going to decide, right? The board always decides who's next. And it feels great for me because I've been in that role for a really long time, but it's not because I don't want to stay involved. I'm excited to stay involved. That's an example of a way things can end well. And I want you to think if you've had things that didn't end well before, what are things that you could do that you feel that you could improve upon? Because endings are normal. Leaving jobs is normal, ending friendships, moving away from an area where you're not going to see people anymore. This is just part of life. And the better we get at ending things well, the more peace we'll have in our hearts and our minds, being happy, being true to ourselves. Now, the other thing to tell you is don't chase your tail for years and years, right? If you're like, I did a really bad job there, then just go, yep, I sure did. And I learned from it and move on. Give yourself that grace. Don't let yourself keep rolling around in the same mistakes you've made in the past. Resilient people learn, integrate, and move forward. And I know you're here because you're resilient, so, or want to be. So let's work on that together. I'm excited to be talking about ending things well because I think it is something I see happening all around me where people really struggle. So there'll be some more on this. Just know that it's normal and you can do it great. And I'm so excited for tomorrow's topic. I can't wait to tell you. Right now, I'm going to go cook my home chef dinner. Everybody voted for Filipino tacos. So that's what I'm making tonight. I hope you're going to have a great night. I look forward to seeing you back here tomorrow, live around 5.